Hello everybody, welcome back to my channel. In today's video I decided I'm going to walk you through my Instagram posts I prepared in Canva. So I have a bunch of them and I'm just going to walk you through it one by one. You can see the number of each Instagram post, and if you have a question regarding any of them, you can ask me down below in the comments by referring to the number of the post. So my post number 1 is regarding what you need to do before opening a KDP account. So what you need to have is secure email account. Well, what that means with secure is that you have a second verification activated, you have a backup email and a backup phone number that you can use to enter your email account in case it gets hacked. So that is meant by having a secure email account. You need to check your taxes info and payment options for your country. So you need to make sure that Amazon can actually pay you. If Amazon cannot pay you, then there is no point of opening a KDP account. You need to check that you do not have an account already open. Sometimes people forget that they signed up to something 2, 3, 4 years ago and they try to do it again, and then Amazon detects that you have 2 accounts and you cannot have 2 KDP accounts, and in that case both of your accounts will be terminated. So that's why you need to check that you do not have an account already open. Next thing that you need to do before opening KDP account is to read the help files and guidelines. You do not need account to read this, to enter this website. Everything that you need from the KDP guidelines is there. So you should check that out. You should check the help files. And also you should prepare a pen name and one book with all the info ready to upload. So just when this is not necessary, you can open account and never upload any books, but if you want to actually publish a book, it would be good that you are prepared, that you have a pen name, that you are ready to go once you open your account. So that was the first post. Second post number 2, is how many accounts you can have. So when it comes to Amazon accounts as a buyer, you can have infinite accounts on all the marketplaces. So .com, .de, all the marketplaces, infinite accounts. And each, of course, needs to be with the individual email address. As a seller on Amazon, you can have one account and there's a star next to it, meaning that you can have one account on your name as a person, and you can have another account for each of the registered businesses that you have. So if, for example, you have 2 companies and they are both registered, so they have their own tax individual numbers, you can start a seller account for each of those companies. And the same is valid for KDP publishers. So for KDP system, as a KDP publisher, you can also have one account as you, as individual, and then for each businesses that you own, you can have another account. Author Central is the same as the buyer system. You can have infinite amount of accounts, and per each Author Central account, you can have 3 pen names. In order to add a pen name to your Author Central account, the book already needs to be published under that name and needs to be live on Amazon. Now, you can also add additional 4 pen names, so total of 7 pen names per account. But for those 4 pen names, you need to contact Author Central support team to add that pen name to your account. So total 7 pen names per one account, and you can have multiple accounts. So if you want 14 pen names, you just open another Author Central account with a different email address. Okay. And now I'm just going to walk you through a couple of my suggestions. So suggestion number 1 would be to read terms of service. 90% of questions asked in Facebook groups or forums are answered in the TOS. You should treat them as handbook for the exam you must pass, and read them and just take notes, and also bookmark some of the important elements that you spot within the TOS. So that would be the suggestion number 1. I would even call it rule number 1. And then we have number 2. So this is Instagram post number 4. Setting realistic goals. When you hear someone giving you an option of 1,000 a month, 5,000 a month, 100 a day opportunity, is that KDP? No. You need to set realistic goals and more achievable goals, and that will be a stronger motivational boost. Instead of targeting 100 a day, that's a possibility. But when you are just starting, target something smaller, so when you achieve this, you can actually motivate yourself to do something else, to change the goal to something higher. So I'm going to earn $5 this month passively. Now you're going to look at this and say, $5 per month? That is nothing. That is ridiculous. I want to go $100 a day. The problem here is that most people focus on this $100 a day, and when they do that, they're actually working on KDP for 6 months with 0 sales. So in 6 months, instead of focusing to have 1 month with $5 passive income, they end up with 6 months with 0 income. What I'm trying to explain here is that you should, you should work for a month and see is it working for you. And then whatever you did, if it's not working, try something else in your month number 2. If that doesn't work, you can either stop and try something else, or you can continue, but you should not do the same things that bring you 0 income in the previous month. That's the whole point. And if you figure out something that is going to bring you $5 a month, then next month do those things again, do more of those things. And then it's going to turn into 10, 15, 20, and that is how you reach $100 a month, a day, or whatever. Okay, so number 5 as an number 5 post, and number 3 as suggestion would be quality and quantity. Quality and quantity. Quality over quantity sounds nice, but in reality, numbers are speaking for themselves. You need more. The more you have, the sooner you will find out what works. Now, quality over quantity is an expression that you get when you sign in the Facebook groups and you say, oh, I'm going to publish notebooks, and they're going to respond don't, or they're going to respond yes, but keep it low. Now, when I say quality and quantity, I mean exactly that. Publish 100 books, just make sure that each book is quality book. Let's go to the next one. Finishing projects. One of the biggest reasons why good designers and illustrators fail to gain passive income is not being able to complete the project without getting distracted and starting 100 new ideas. I have since the day I started KDP, I have my notebook, and in that notebook I have like 200 ideas that I don't have time to complete. Because when I start to complete something, I get 10 additional ideas, and then I get the 10 additional ideas, and I end up not finishing anything. So finish the project. Note down the idea, but do not start working on it. Finish the project. There's a good video you could watch. It's called Finished Not Perfect. It's a great motivational video. You should check it out. Finding what works. It is going to take time until you find what works. So therefore, try everything. Explore every opportunity. Don't focus on one thing alone. Focus on one thing alone on a certain period of time, and then shift back and forward until you figure out what is working for you. And also, this not just covers the type of book or niches. This also means if you try KDP and you try and try, and you change niches, and you change keywords, and you change cover, interior, description, you change everything. You try the social media, you try the ads, you tried everything, and it is still not working. Do not hit the wall. That is not going to fall down. Move on to something else. If you are a designer, if you are an illustrator, there is a place for you on Creative Fabrica, there is a place for you on Creative Market, there is a place for you on Design Bundles, there is a place for you on Etsy. There is a room for you to get active income and passive income. There is a Fiverr, there is Upwork. So if one element doesn't work and you tried it, try something else, and then you can go back to this in a couple of months or maybe a couple of weeks. But don't just be persistent in one thing, hoping that by some magic it's going to start working in 6 months or 1 year. Do a little bit of this, little bit of that, and then spread yourself around and try to figure out what works. Health over money. Working low hours to complete the projects, not resting enough, not having a proper working environment, also very important, and proper tools for the task, all of this affects your health. So you need to set your priorities straight. If you see that the freelancing is causing you more stress and more problems than a regular day job, then the value of the freelance job is lost. There's no point of losing your health in order to claim I have freedom when you are working from 6 a.m. to 2 at midnight as a freelancer. Constant skill improvement. One of the reasons why I have this widespread of knowledge, according to people, is because every single time I was free, what I did is I attended a training or a lecture or something. So web design, negotiation, marketing, application development, Photoshop, Illustrator, PowerPoint, Excel, diving, I don't know. Every time I've seen an opportunity, but I never, let me give you an example. I was teaching people how to survive helicopter crash in water. At that time, there was nothing in the regulation stating that the teacher of that course needs to be a diver. But as I was teaching that course, I realized that at one day they're going to say, this teacher needs to be a diver. It is not possible that someone teaches how to survive underwater without being a diver. So what I did is, in my free time, when I was not working in my university, I attended the courses to get my license as a diver, and then I got my first star, second star, third star, fourth star diver. That is actually instructor diver license. The very next week after I obtained my license as a diving instructor, the institution that gives permission to universities to hold this course, helicopter underwater escape training, issued a statement that every teacher must be a diver. So it was like, I'm not going to say pure coincidence because I knew this is going to happen, but it was very fortunate that it was not just in my mind, oh, maybe they're going to change and I'm going to maybe do the training if they actually change it. It was great for me to make that additional decision, that extra step, because at that moment when they changed the rules, nobody from the other instructors could teach that course because I was the only one who had diving license. At that moment, the university sent all the other instructors to pass the diving course, but I already had it. I already have the license. I could just continue my work normally without any stopping, any blockage. So constant skill improvement. That was just my example. So every day is an opportunity to learn something new. Check new courses, watch the latest tutorial videos, read blogs and news. There's a lot of free courses being uploaded every day online, and you never know which one is going to kickstart or boost your career. Research and planning. Now, fail to plan and you plan to fail. You know this, you heard this, you've seen this. You need to find out something that you love, but that also brings income. Without a plan and proper research, people usually end up doing what they don't like, and they never discover new ways of making a profit. So you need to do a research, and you need to plan your next actions. So make a notebook, write down all your options. I have Fiverr, I have Upwork, I have Redbubble, I have Zazzle, I have Creative Fabrica, I have in my local community, I can do something. So write down everything that you can do, and then write down everything that you want to do, and then mix and match between those two things until you find something that suits you the best. And now we come to my quote that I came up with, and that is, there is no passive income without active effort. A lot of people share the dream of passive income with passive effort, and that concept works only for some special lucky individuals. The rest of us, we have to roll up our sleeves. We need to make an effort. So I believe my next slide is going to show you what actually passive income is. So if you have a regular job and you work hard, you get paid once. In order to get paid again, you need to do the number one again. You need to work hard. If you don't work at your regular job, you're not going to get paid. Passive income is when you get paid again for doing number one and you don't have to do it again. So that's the core of passive income. But this part is important. You cannot skip this part that you need to work hard at some point in order to get paid again and again and again. Now I'm going to give you an example. Fiverr is not passive income. Fiverr is where I work as a designer. Somebody contacts me, asks me for a logo, and then we have 3 days conversation in order to finally reach the best logo for my client. So that is not passive income at all. That is active income. Creative Fabrica is a passive income. That is where I make a design once, I draw it, it's there, I upload it to my account, and then let's say I don't do anything. Each day that design gets sold, I get some income. So that's it, that is passive income. And that system is also KDP. You make a book, you upload it, and then for the rest of your life, or for the rest of Amazon life, that book can bring you income. You are finished, it's there, it's published. And now we come to the next big question, and I'm going to say this is a very big question: KDP spamming. Sometimes people are going to accuse you that when you publish 100 notebooks that you are spamming. And there needs to be a clear separation. What is spamming that is illegal, that is against the rules, and what is meant by uploading 100 books that are rubbish, but they are following the rules, and then uploading 100 notebooks that are good quality. So if you upload same activity interior, so same puzzles, same mazes, same coloring pages, this is not allowed. This is not allowed by the TOS of Amazon. And this is also called spamming. You are spamming the system. If you upload notebook with a different cover, so notebook inside has just lines, nothing else, and then you upload it with a different cover, this is allowed. This is not spamming. The only way this could be marked as spamming if your covers are poor quality and then you're just uploading books pointlessly because no one's going to buy them. But if your cover is of good quality and if you are targeting a niche that is in demand, then you can publish 1, 2, 100, 5,000 notebooks if you want. There is nothing in the KDP guidelines preventing you from doing this. So just be careful when you are joining KDP groups and when you mention that you have 500 notebooks, make sure that you emphasize what kind of notebooks they are and the quality of these notebooks, because for sure one of the first comments that you're going to get is that you are spamming the system. It is a huge difference between uploading 500 identical activity books, 500 books with a rubbish auto-generated covers, and 500 notebooks where for each single one you actually did the research, you actually did the design, you actually put some mind into it. Okay? And now we come to the next question, and that is KDP page count. So what is the minimum page count of your books? So if you select black ink and white paper, or black ink and cream paper, so they fall under the same category, the minimum page count is 24. So you cannot publish a book that has 23 pages. It needs to have 24. If you want to have standard color, once again, this is only on white paper, minimum page count is 72. If you want to pick premium color, the minimum is 24. And for the hardcover, minimum is 75. Now this is minimum page count per KDP. You cannot upload a book that has under these values. But there is also something important that you need to know, is that there is a difference in minimum count when there is no change in price. So if you upload book that has 110 pages with white paper and black ink, it's going to have the same price as any other amount below this. So 100 pages, 90 pages, 80 pages, all the way down to 24, up to 110, the price will not change. It will not change, it will be the same. So if you are thinking about this from the marketing point of view, you should give your buyers more value for the money, give them more pages up to 110, because for you it doesn't make any change. If you publish a book of 24 pages and 110 pages, you're going to get the same royalty, nothing changes. For a standard color, minimum is 72, that's the same. For premium color, it's 42. So almost double of the minimum page count you can upload. So if you upload 40, 38, 32, the price is going to be exactly the same as you upload 42 pages. For hardcover, it is 75, so that stays the same. KDP interior dimensions. You have a full list on Amazon help section, what interiors are possible, and you have two options. You can pick no bleed and with bleed. There is a video I'm preparing that's going to focus especially on this one, because if you never published a book, if you never printed a book, not in the local print shop, but actually physically with the publisher, this bleed is a big question mark to people. So I'm going to make a special video that is going to cover the bleed question. For this video, all you need to know is that the no bleed is the actual dimension of the paper that it's going to be your book dimension. With bleed is just you providing Amazon a page that is slightly larger, but at the end it will still be cut down to the original value. So if you make interior with bleed, it's going to be cut down to this value again. So that's the same. So they all become this at the end. With bleed is something that you use when you want to have color reaching the edge of the pages. So let me show you that. So this is when you don't need bleed. So when you don't need a drawing or illustration to go outside paper margins, you can select no bleed. You don't need bleed in this situation. So you have your illustration, and then you have the paper edge around, and everything that you created is safely within the margins. But if you want this, If you want this to be your page, to be printed like this, then you need to select with bleed option, and then your interior needs to be slightly larger. As I said, this is a subject that requires little more deeper explanation than this one, so I'm going to make another video for the bleed specifically. Let's go to the next one, and that is inside margins. So when you open your book, where the book is connected, where the pages are connected, that is called inside margin. And on the edges you have outside margin. Outside margin stays the same. They are regulated at 0.375, but the inside margins are changing as per the page count. So the more pages you have, the thicker of the inside margins you need to put. So when the page count goes beyond 150 pages, you should use mirror margin. So that means the inside needs to be wider than the outside margin. In a lot of YouTube videos, when they showing you how to prepare the template for your book, they ask you to make a rectangle of 0.375 inches, and then you place it on all four sides, and that is how you get your margins. Now remember, this is good, this is okay, but only if your book has up to 150 pages. The moment your book goes beyond 150, you need to have larger inside margins, you need to use mirror margins. So why do we need mirror margins? When you have beyond 150 pages, book is increased in thickness, and binding will cause the inner part of the print not to be visible, or if it's activity book, not to be usable. So this here is the inside gutter, inside margins, and you can clearly see, do you see how big it is here, and then you see how small it's here. So this becomes larger and larger and larger as the book has more and more pages, while this stays the same. So if this was a book with 10 pages or 300 pages, this would be the same. And let's see an example. So this is how book looks like when the author of the book didn't use mirror margins. You see, the text goes into the book binding, and then person had to physically flatten the book, apply force in order to be able to read what's here. While this example has clear mirror margins, so there is enough room, so there is no need to apply force in order to be able to read the text that is close to the book binding. What do you need to upload book, paperback book, onto the KDP? You need to have flattened cover in PDF form. You need to have flattened interior, and it has to be under 650 megabytes. You need to have title, and that title needs to be identical as you put it on the front cover of your design or on spine. It cannot be on the back cover. So it has to be on the front cover or spine, the title of your book. So whatever you put on your front cover, you need to put that as title in the KDP. You need to have your pen name, so your author name, and you need to have description, you need to have keywords, you need to not have BISAC categories, you need to know on what market you're going to publish your book. Usually it's all markets, but you can pick and select, and you need to know the price of your book. So this is an example of a checklist that you should have next to your book, and then you check, is everything ready before you start uploading process. Now, how are you going to find the perfect size for interior, margins, and cover? Directly in KDP help and guidelines page, you have a template generator for interior and cover. You input your data correctly and download the template. So, for example, paperback, black and white, white paper, left to right is the way the pages turn for most regions, measurement units inches, and then your interior trim size, and then how many pages you have, and then you click on calculate dimensions, and then you can download the template that is going to be generated for you. So you don't have to do the math or anything. You just put all the data here and it's going to create template for you. When you upload your book, it is giving you option to indicate to the Amazon system what is your book about. This is called keywords. You have 7 segments where you can put your keywords. Amazon recommends that you don't duplicate words because system will mix and match between all the tabs and your words that you placed in. So there is no point to duplicate words. You should have one main word in one tab, one main phrase in one tab, and then the rest of the tabs you should fill with what is the book about, who is it for what occasion, and what are the benefits of your book. There is a good video that explains the mentality behind developing the keywords, and I'm going to put the link to that video in the description below. You are not allowed to use trademark terms here, brands, and words such as sale, new, best, free. Now, when you upload your book to Amazon KDP system, you're going to see that you have categories there that are completely different from the categories when you are purchasing on Amazon. Now, the reason for this is because KDP Amazon is obligated to obey the rules of regular publishing. BISAC stands for Book Industry Standards and Communication. Categories when you upload a book are BISAC categories. And when they go on Amazon Market, Amazon uses categories best for his business and to get sales. So they're different. When you upload your book, you can pick up to 2 BISAC categories. That's maximum. But once your book is live, you can ask for your book to be categorized in 8 more categories. And of course, you need to make sure that they are relevant to your book. So you cannot just push random. Now, there are lots of sellers on Amazon that are disobeying this rule, and they put their books in categories that are low in order to get the bestseller badge. When you have this bestseller badge, your book stands out in the search results and people have tendency to buy more. This is called scamming the system, and these sellers are scamming the system. Most of these books is in travel guides. So if you go to Amazon under travel guides, so travel guides, Bahami, travel guides, Hawaii, you will see that the first book is coloring book that has nothing to do with Bahama or with Hawaii or anything. And puzzle books and maze books and all kinds of books that do not belong to that category at all. There is a couple of sellers that have 30 of bestsellers in completely wrong categories. This is what they did to scam the system. This is what they did to gain more income. They are frauds, and you need to think about, do you want to do that? Do you want to go down that route? So that's totally up to you. It is possible because obviously they did it, so it is possible, and they are still operating under that system. If you check them out, you will see that they have books from 2019 in completely ridiculous categories, and they are still there. Amazon is not doing anything about them, and they are disobeying the rules and guidelines. But maybe in 5, 10, 30 years, Amazon is going to say, okay, this is no longer allowed. We are terminating your account. But as I said right now, it could be 30 years from that, so it's up to you. Are you going to risk it? Because for you, maybe it happens tomorrow. That is how the wheel of fortune works. Oh, okay, so this is what I just explained. You can list your books in 2 categories and 8, and you can ask for additional 8 when the book goes live. Okay. What about book cover? Book covers are printed on 220 grams white paper, and this paper can be either glossy or matte finish. Glossy finish is shiny. It makes black covers darker and artwork stands out more. It is typical for textbooks, children books, and non-fiction books. Matte finish has a minimal sheen and its subtle polished look. It's typical for novels and other fiction. Now, I'm in the process of making and publishing 17 different books that is going to cover all dimensions Amazon can offer, all the paper types Amazon can offer, all the inks option Amazon can offer, and also paperback and hardcover. So 17 books in total that are testing everything Amazon can offer. I still have 2 books at the moment in review. So the moment these last 2 books go live, I'm going to order them. In one of my next videos, I'm going to show you everything about those books. I'm going to show you how they look like. And also, if you have a specific question that you would like to have tested on the book, like for example, if you want me to test a marker on a certain paper, if you want me to test certain color on a certain paper, or anything that you want me to do, these will be my test books for the purpose of the testing. So everything that you want me to test on them, ask me down below in the comments, and I'm going to do that on the books once they arrive. Now, for the hardcover books, they are printed as case laminate or laminate. This means your hardcover book will not have a dust jacket, and the art is going to be printed directly on the cover. So this is what you're going to get on the left, and this is not what you're going to get on the right. So once your book is finished and it's published, it's going to be on the Amazon web. And the buyer is going to find your book by using phone or using computer. If he uses computer, he's going to have something that is called look inside feature. That is going to give him option to look inside your book and see how interior looks like, and depending on that, buy or not buy your book. Now, for the person on the phone, they can still see the look inside, but it's a little bit tricky. They need to activate on the browser that they are actually on desktop view, and that is going to give them the look inside feature. But none of the buyers are actually doing that. So in order to get your book seen, so interior of your book seen, what you can do is add something that is called A+ content. A+ content are images that are appearing below your book description. When it comes to A+ content, a lot of, including me, are seeing that the images we upload into A+ content are very blurry. So no matter what resolution you pick, the images are very blurry. At the moment, I am testing the A+ content with different kinds of images and photos and pixelizations and DPI and PPI and whatever you want. I'm testing that, and when I get my results, I'm going to do that in another video. At the moment, what I discovered is that the number that is stated on the segment of A+ content, the ratio, if you upload image that is created in exactly this ratio, it's going to have the clearest appearance on the screen. It makes no sense because 150 to 300 pixels is extremely small image, but for some strange reasons, that image looks good on A+. But as I said, this is something I'm testing at the moment, and I'm going to give you in-depth research results later. PNG, GPG. When PNG is better than GPG. Now, on the left we have GPG, Juliet Papa Golf, Juliet Papa Golf, and Papa November Golf. That's military because I'm a merchant navy officer for you. So instead of GPG and PNG, we're going to call them Juliet Papa Golf, Papa November Golf. GPG is for real photos, online work, and email sharing. PNGs are for illustrations, texts, graphics, and they have transparency. Now, if you are using them for A+ content, and for your store or whatever online, I recommend that you use GPG. It has lesser quality because it is not a lossless form, but the trick with GPG is that it has metadata. So when you make your image and you make the format of your image Juliet Papa Golf, then you can open that, right click on it and click on properties, go to details, and you can add the title, subject, tags, comments, authors of the image. What this does is when Google is looking at your photo, he cannot see that's a flower. He has no idea that's a flower. He is actually reading what you put in the description, what is the image about. And he sees, blooming flowers for coloring. So now he knows this image is showing a blooming flowers for coloring. So in the search results, if someone is looking for blooming flowers for coloring, he's going to get your image. Now, the way I can prove this to you is on Fiverr, I'm selling OBS overlays. Right now, if you search in Google OBS overlays, so just that, you don't even have to put Fiverr or anything else. I'm going to be on the first page of results. My images, my offer to make OBS overlays is going to be there because I inbuilt metadata in my images that I uploaded to my gig on Fiverr. So that's the reason why you need to use Juliet Papa Golf images, because you can add metadata and that helps Google to learn what is your photo about and display it in search results. And now your book is live and you get negative review. What do we do now? Let's see the negative review. Like the saying and the black backs of the paper, but the paper isn't white. It is recycled of white. So this customer is complaining on the paper that something you cannot pick. You cannot ask Amazon to remove this review. I know it's hurting because it has nothing to do with your book, with your interior, with your cover. It's not referring to the quality of your book, but the quality of the paper that you cannot control. But you need to understand, Amazon is selling your book. You are not selling your book. Amazon is selling your book, and your book is a product. The buyer bought a product from Amazon. That product consists of the paper, of the cover, and whatever you created that is printed on that paper. So if the paper is the bad quality, he can review that product on Amazon with statement, it's a bad paper, it's a bad product in his mind. So you cannot ask for this review to be removed because it is valid. It is complaining on the paper, and that is what Amazon sold to this person. It sold paper with your ink on it, your drawing in his ink on it. Let's look at this one. Waste of money, not a good coloring book. Funny, look at this, funny, but it's super thin. So the book is funny and it's thin. So once again, we cannot pick paper Amazon is going to print our books on. Paper not being funny is not connected to content not being funny. But buyers do not know this, and as a result, you get this review. Bad quality. The backs of all pages are black. 50% of the book is black. Now, because the paper of Amazon is so thin, most of us, when we do coloring books, we put on the back of the illustration, we put completely black back. Now, this reduces the see-through and to some extent also reduces bleeding. So, ink going through the paper. In order to avoid this kind of reviews, you need to make sure that you state this in description, and even better in the A+ content photos. Make a big, huge, gigantic photo where it's clearly visible that you have illustration with a black back on it. It doesn't guarantee that you're not going to get a negative review, because 5 out of 10 people don't read the description, don't read the images, they don't do anything. I don't know how they manage to purchase. I believe my next negative review, look at this one. Terrible title. This is terrible name for a coloring book. How can you buy a book without knowing, seeing the title? The title is the most prominent thing displayed on order. So how can someone buy the book without reading or knowing the title? This is something where you just need to close the Amazon, go outside, look at the grass and take a deep breath in, and then go back and just forget this happened, because there's nothing more you can do. Horizontal lines run through the middle of page. Crappy. Amazon will have print control issues you have no control over. Don't stress about it. It's not your fault. Nothing can be done here. Once again, you cannot ask for this review to be removed. Once again, go outside and look at the grass. Not super impressed. This book does not have perforations for easy tear out. Make sure that you add in description and in A+ content in the photos that the book pages are not perforated. And also, this is extremely important that if the book is coloring, so there is some fragment of a concept of idea that the buyer, would like to tear the pages out and then color them, make sure that in the first 2 pages you emphasize that the book is not perforated. It's going to sound ridiculous, because if the person is looking at the book while he reads the sentence that the book is not perforated, it should be obvious to him that the book is not perforated. But if you make that a note, there's a slight chance he's going to be resistant, leaving you negative review, because he's going to think, oh, look, he put that in the description, he put that in the A+ content, he put that inside the book. It is my fault for not reading the description. So that is why you should make sure to add that inside your book, inside description, and inside A+ content about your book. Not impressed. Not very impressed with the flowers. And I made this illustration in Canva. The less you try to impress, the more impressive you are. So this client or buyer was not impressed with the flowers, and that's good for him. That's why you go outside and you look at the grass. And while you're looking at the grass, remember, you can make everyone happy. So make yourself happy first, and then everybody else will have to follow the program. Okay? What tools can you use for your own illustrations? The best is that you work in vector, because vector is a sharp images that can be zoom in, zoom out, and you can edit them whenever you want. So you have Inkscape that is free, you have PowerPoint, and before some of you starts rolling your eyes, PowerPoint is a vector environment. You can make presentation in it, but you can also draw in it. There are people making animations, extreme colorful illustrations inside PowerPoint. It is not possible. Just because you don't know it's possible, just because you don't use PowerPoint the way it's possible to use it, that doesn't mean the system is rubbish. When someone says, I'm designing in PowerPoint, that doesn't mean he's an idiot who doesn't know how to open Adobe Illustrator or install Inkscape. That just means he's using the tool he has, he's using the tool he's comfortable with, and 90% of things you can do in Adobe Illustrator, I guarantee you can do in PowerPoint. 90%. You do not have like brushes, you don't have small fragments of things that are important once you are turning yourself from designer into illustrator, into artist. But for the things that we do in KDP, to publish book, to make the interior, PowerPoint is perfect, absolutely perfect. If you have it, use it. And then you have the fancy ones, Adobe Illustrator being the top of the cream. And Affinity Designer is same as Adobe Illustrator. The only difference is the person who made it, the people who made it are smart, are respectable, and they put a realistic price on their product where you have no reservation going there and buying and paying the full price. While with Adobe Illustrator, the first thing that person is looking for is a CC6 or CC5 or the last version that was without subscription. So if you want to purchase a program that is exclusively for drawing and you want it to be professional, then I would go with Affinity Designer. They are running sales all the time. I believe the program is $50, and $50 investment is less than nothing. I actually purchased the tool and I never install it, I never use it. I have the license because I wanted to pay my respect to them because they created something amazing. I have both of the licenses. I asked them in the email, is it going to be a problem because I have no intention of installing the program because I have Illustrator, I have Inkscape, I have other tools. But when this program was first showcased to the market, I loved it, but I never used it, and I purchased the license. So it's just $50. It's ridiculous. If they said $100, I would just give it to them because of the work they provided. So it's a great tool. And then we have raster. Raster is something that is going to give you good images, but only in one resolution, and that is the resolution you start your project in. Once you are finished, if you want to go higher or lower, that's not possible. That's not going to work. You have PaintNet, you have GIMP, you have Photo. I'm calling it wrong, but I like the way I'm calling it. Photo P. I know it's Photo Pair, but I want to say Photo P because it's a photo that pees. Okay. You see, if you watch my videos, I start all serious, and then by the end of the day, I'm completely gone. Illustration resources. So what if you want to draw, but you also want to save some time? For example, me, I can draw things, but I do not like to draw icons. You know, those tiny isometric icons thingies? I can draw them, but why would I when I have Creative Fabrica account and I can just download, I can ask designer, this is how I'm going to, okay, let me just pause that. When I say ask designer, because I'm a designer myself, when I download something from Creative Fabrica, I'm never going to use it like, okay, it's mine, I purchased it from Creative Fabrica, blah, blah, blah. I have license. I want to respect the designer because I want to make sure that he's actually the one that owns the design, because a lot of time you have people that steal design from other sites and then upload it to Creative Fabrica, and because this designer is not using Creative Fabrica, he's not interested in this, he has no idea KDP exists, he has no idea that somebody is using his illustrations and selling them illegally on Creative Fabrica. So because of this, when I see something that is very interesting to me that I know that I'm going to use in multiple projects as a part of my design, I contact designer and I ask him, okay, this is the example of how I plan to use your design. Do I have your permission? And then so far, I received permission. A couple of designers were like, I believe they were young, so that's why they reacted like that. They were so happy. I contacted them. They said that, of course, it's fine. They were so happy that I left 5-star review because I said, of course, because it's a great illustration, is great. I could draw it, but I need to draw another segment of the image. And if I can save time by drawing that and getting this from you, why not? Why not? It's not stealing. That is what we do. We cooperate. So you can get your illustrations from Creative Fabrica, Creative Market, Design Bundles, Free Pick, Vexels. Now, it's important that you read the licenses, that you use Google Lens to scan the images, and don't use them without editing or adding your elements. Now, something important that you need to know here is when it comes to licensing, you have license of a company that is giving you or selling you the image. That is one part of the deal. And then you have Amazon. That is another part of the deal. So let's say Canva and Creative Fabrica and FreePic would be the most used tools to get your book into the KDP. Now, Canva, Creative Fabrica, and FreePic, you have the POD full license as an option. So that means print on demand. You can use the image with modifications to print that or to put that in your book. So that is the license given to you by the company that is selling you illustrations. But Amazon has a rule of no duplicate content. So what that means, if a John buys an image from Creative Fabrica and Mary buys that same image from Creative Fabrica, they can publish two books with their own company, with their own agent, with their own publisher company, not on Amazon, without modification if they purchased full POD license. So when you purchase full POD license from Creative Fabrica, you have a paper, electronic paper, and when somebody comes to you, this is not your drawing, you show him a license, this is why I'm allowed to publish this in my book. But that is if you publish your book privately through your publisher that is not connected with Amazon at all. When you go to Amazon to publish the book that you created with illustrations from Canva, Creative Fabrica, and FreePic, you need to modify them. Every single page needs to have variations, modifications. You cannot put a single element on the page without any decorations outside, because that is against the rules of Amazon. So that has nothing to do with Canva rules. So it's not Canva that is preventing you. It is Amazon that is preventing you to use single images as a standalone elements. So you need to separate rules from stock food images and stock photos sites and Amazon rules. So Amazon is the one that is not allowing you to use the same image as John from Creative Fabrica and Mary from Creative Fabrica. It is not the Creative Fabrica that is preventing you. So keep that in mind. And Creative Fabrica has a slight problem, and that is allowing sellers to write PDF is upload ready to KDP. This is false. Every single seller that puts in his or her description in Creative Fabrica that the PDF he is offering is ready to be uploaded to KDP, that is false advertisement. That is false advertisement because of the rules of Amazon, not because of the rules of Creative Fabrica. It's because of the rules of Amazon. Because you need to modify everything before you upload to Amazon because of the Amazon rules. Where can you get templates? Where you can get drawing? What are the options? So you can hire someone on Fiverr or Upwork to make your interior. You can buy or hire someone on Etsy for the interior. You can get your interiors from Creative Fabrica, Design Bundles, Creative Market. You can also get them some smaller ones like planners and lines and dots and hexagons and stuff like that from and also logbooks and notebooks, so the basic ones from BookBolt, Tajin templates, and then the biggest one that you can use where you can really explore your creativity would be Canva. With a free Canva account, you can sell everything that you make in the Canva with a free account, given that you used only the free elements. So if the element has a crown next to it, you are not allowed to use it if you don't have Pro account. For photo resources, you have Pixabay, Pexels, Unsplash, Canva, and Reshoot. Now, you also need to read the licenses of these websites, and you can use the photos by adding your elements on the top for the book cover. In case of Canva, you need to also note that Canva purchased Pixabay, I believe, or pixels, I don't know, one of these two, Canva purchased in 2019. Up to 2019, they had public domain images, so free to use, CC0, no restrictions. But after it was purchased by Canva, now they have licensed images within the Canva, and you can only use certain images if you have pro account. If you have free account, you cannot use all images that are available in Canva. You can only use 100% without risk images that are made, so photos that are uploaded before 2019, because those images would be from Pixabay, so that means those images would be in public domain. Any photo uploaded to Pixabay was in public domain. Also, you need to check as well, because sometimes people upload photos that they do not have license for. So you can also use Google Lens to check is the photo actually in public domain. Okay. Another thing that is very important that people don't understand, and it only becomes an issue when it becomes an issue, is that if someone uses a public domain photo and publishes as illustration in her store, so let's picture this Redbubble, and someone takes an image from public domain and then transforms that image into design, in some concept. And now she's selling that in her store. It could be Etsy, it could be Redbubble, it could be Creative Fabrica. Now, because she did it first, she has the copyright over that image. Even that image is in public domain, because of her design, it becomes a right of priority. So basically, if you find something in public domain and you do something with it first, you now have the copyright over that new design that incorporates a public domain image. Now, this sounds very, not appropriate. It should not be like this, but this is how it is. If you are first, you have the copyright now. That is how it rolls. And at the moment when I'm recording this video, I'm chilling and flattening my book, because every book and every PDF that you upload to KDP needs to be flattened. Now, why PDF must be flattened? When you save your illustrations, no matter where you made them, with layers, so let's say you have a chicken and then you have a chicken next to it, and then you have an egg, and then you're making Easter coloring book, and you are just gluing things on top of each other. Those are called layers of illustrations. When you save that file as a PDF, those layers can still be extracted from the PDF. Imagine this like you are making a soup, and you have tomato, potato, vegetables, meat, and you put all of that into cold water, and you don't do anything. You just put that in the cold water. That is PDF. PDF just combines everything together, but you can still extract. So if you want potato back, you can take it from the pot, and you have a potato. You can take a tomato, and you still have a tomato. Every single layer, it doesn't matter, it's PDF. It is still vector, it is still there, it can still be moved around. And same goes for text as well. So text can also be edited in PDF once you save it. It can be typed in, you can be corrected. Now, if you used font that Amazon system doesn't recognize, that font is going to be gibberish once you send that PDF file to the Amazon system. It's going to maybe look good on your computer because your computer has that font. So your computer is recognizing that font. He knows that font. So he's showing you. So the PDF file. So let me just go like slightly deeper if you can comprehend. Imagine your PDF is a guy and your computer is another guy. And PDF has a t-shirt with a font. And this computer guy needs to recognize what this guy has on his t-shirt. The PDF guy tells him, is this font? And computer guy says, oh, I have that font. I can read what you have on your t-shirt. But once you send that PDF to Amazon, the Amazon computer guy is going to look at you, look at your PDF and look at his t-shirt, and he's going to see the font, and he doesn't have that font in his system, and he's not going to understand what is written. But because it's a computer, so he knows it's a font, it's letters, he's going to say, okay, let's put boxes. Did you ever experience that when you open a file that was corrupted, and instead of letters, you only see a bunch of rectangles? That's it. That is what Amazon is going to see. He's going to see rectangles, and when he sees rectangles, he's going to think, okay, this is rubbish, and let's just not put anything. And when you get your book printed, you're going to see words and texts and everything gone or in different font. That would be the best case scenario, that Amazon just looks at your font and says, this font is just ridiculous, I don't like it, let's put all Arial. Everything is going to be Arial. So you spend 3 days making your book in all these fancy fonts, and then Amazon comes and say, no, Arial, no, Arial. Everything is Arial. So that is why you need to flatten your book. And what is meant by flattening? Flattening means that you need to merge all layers, you need to merge the text, merge everything so it's a one single image. You can do this by converting your pages into PNG. Now, why do we pick PNG now? We pick PNG because PNG is lossless. PNG will preserve the quality of the vector image in that dimension, and that is what we need. If this is too much for you, what you can do is, it's not going to work all the time, but in 95% of time it will work good enough for you, is when you make your PDF file normally, whatever you did to make it, upload it to one of these 3 sites that are free, flatteners, and as a result, they're going to flatten your PDF. Now, I'm not using this. I know people are using these 3 sites. I'm not using them because I have my own system of converting images into PNG, and then I convert them to PDF in order to be safe, that I know that what I see on my screen is what the computer of Amazon is going to see on his screen, and that is what's going to be printed. There is 0 chance when you convert your pages to PNG that Amazon is going to print something else. But if you give him a print ready PDF, so the title of the PDF is print ready PDF, but that is for your computer, because your computer has the fonts that you use. Your computer understands the illustrations that you use. Amazon computer has no idea what you used, and he doesn't understand the illustrations that you used, so he can mess that up completely as much as he wants. So print ready PDF needs to be flattened as well. It is only print ready to click print from your computer to print it on your own printer. For Amazon printer, they need to be flattened. And that's it. I'm scrolling my mouse down and nothing happens. So that means we reached the end of this video. I don't know who's more happy, me or you. Okay. That's it. If you have any questions, if you have any comments regarding anything I just said, ask me down below. If you like the video, now because I'm a professional YouTuber, I should ask you to subscribe. Yes, that's my life now. I should ask you to like this video. And if you like video that is over 1 hour long, good for you. And if you like the video and you you want more videos like this, send me a message down below in the comments. And also I want to warn you about something. If you write down that you don't like the video and you don't want me to record any of these videos again, I'm going to continue to record these videos again because I'm kind of liking it. I kind of love it.